Marilyn Hamilton, in her article titled Leadership to the Power of Eight, Leading Self, Others, Organization, System, and Suprasystem, defined leadership as the dynamic bio, psycho, cultural, systemic capacity of a person to adaptively lead human systems at multiple scales of complexity to achieve some outcome. My names are Maxwell Edomwande, and this is an oral presentation to meet one of the requirements of the Management 653 course, Leading Organizations. The book chosen for this review is titled Hit the Ground Running by Jennings. It was first published in 2009 by Portfolio, a member of Penguin Publishing. Jennings is a renowned motivational leadership speaker and author. The author's purpose in writing this book is to create a manual that acts as a guide to new leaders and also to emphasize the need for timely success. Borrowing a statement by Ron Sargent, the Chief Executive Officer of Staples, as quoted by the author, I think a lot of people get intimidated by the role they've taken and say to themselves, I'm going to take some time and settle in, learn the job, and do my research. He added, if you wait too long, you will lose everybody, and the opportunity to effect change will be gone. Still, in his own words, I think a new leader has to do something big, new, and different. Big, new, and different within the first 100 days, and make sure it's properly communicated to everyone. If people don't know what's going on, they will assume nothing is going on. It is for this reason and many more that in agreement with the author, it is advised that timely success, when given an opportunity for leadership position, is crucial. This ultimately reinforces confidence and the potential for more and better the potential for more and better opportunities is created. The opposite holds true for failure. The author attempts to elucidate on how to hit the ground running by giving the reader a front row seat into the modus operandi of a number of role models. These role models are a number of chief executive officers who did hit the ground running. They were some of the top performing chief executive officers in the United States between the year 2001 to 2007. And the selection criteria was based on the differential economic value they had created sometime after they took over their respective positions. A collation of their individual experiences culminated in the author suggesting a number of rules that should guide the new leader in the aspiration to success. And this also applies to new jobs, opening a new business, and interpersonal relationships. The first rule, don't deceive yourself. You will reap what you sow. If you do a good job, people will demand for you. If you sell a good product, they will demand for it. If you give good service, people will patronize and recommend you. This seems to be the simplest rule, but it is as uncommon as it is simple. Individuals and businesses alike have always searched for ways to cut corners, cut costs, some minor safe form of deception, withholding the truth, half-truths. It comes in different forms. And the last economic recession is a very good example. If you lose market share or develop a bad reputation as a result of bad service or inferior products, the effect may not be sudden. There might actually be some short-term gains, but ultimately the loss is long-lasting and often relatively harder to overcome. The next rule, gain belief. It is very important for a leader to gain the belief of those that follow them. They cannot be motivated to accomplish tasks if they do not believe that the person at the helm can steer the ship. A number of steps are outlined in the book. Make a first great impression on your followers. The first impression lasts the longest. Demonstrate how you are different from others that have led them before, from others that they know that are in your position. Actually reach out to them and ask for their belief, and surround yourself with those that they will believe. I would like to say that again. Make a great impression. Demonstrate how you are different. Ask for their belief and surround yourself with those that they will believe. The next rule, ask for help. It is important to it is important never to discard the knowledge of those who were there before us. If you are going to a new place, always consider the experience of those that were there before you. In all of human progress, in all our endeavors, the knowledge we have gained has been born on the hard work, dedication, and sacrifices of our forerunners. No man is an island unto himself. We are able to see much further by standing on the shoulders of giants. Egos should not get in the way of asking for help on getting to a new organization. Help may come from junior workers, co workers, or even your boss or bosses. The next rule, find, keep, and grow the right people. It is good to hire those that are qualified for certain positions. It is better to hire those that are not only qualified but share your passion and culture. It is also desirable to create an environment for leadership development. A dedicated leadership development program will not be out of place. According to Beverly Duggan and Patrick O'Shea, in the article titled Leadership Development, Growing Talent Strategically. This is an article written for the Society for Human Resource Management and Industrial and Organizational Psychology. It says, those chosen for leadership development should be evaluated on their cognitive abilities, growth potential, and their career orientation. The fifth rule, see through the fog. Before going any further to talk about this rule, I want to mention something about the internal variables or individual resources of a leader's resiliency. As described by Janet Ledesma in her article Conceptual Frameworks and Research Models on Resilience in Leadership, these variables includes hardiness, coping ability, a sense of coherence, threat appraisal, a sense of being effectual and being in control of one's surroundings, and amongst others, a sense of optimism, direction, and vision. The majority of followers, all followers, have an inherent, the majority of followers have an inherent need for guidance, if not, and followers always look up to someone that will let them know everything is going to be all right. This is where we are going to. We are going to be fine. These are the problems we have identified. This is how we will tackle it. And this is where we are going. A leader should have the ability to plot a course for the team, organization, and offer solutions to problems with confidence. The next rule, drive a stake in the ground. When dealing with people at work, at work or business, wherever one may find himself in a position of leadership, they may or may not be junior members of the organizations. There may be associates, consultants, or potential business partners. Whatever the case may be, stamp your authority at the very beginning. Let them know you are in charge. Everyone likes to know they are dealing with the person who calls the shots and can make changes. It is not too sound to always announce when you need to get approval from a higher authority and when you do not, as this will diminish the leadership effectiveness of your operation, of your presence. Let them know what you are about, give a clear picture of your views and what direction you want to take. A statement I found worthy of notes was in the book is by Mike McAllister of Humana. It's a statement about the false fear of running big organizations. He claims that the relatively more resources of the larger organizations make them easy to run. For example, in a small organization, if a member of staff or two calls out for work, it creates a problem, and it's not so much when this happens in a large organization. It is the same consequence for material resources. Another important point he makes is that a leader needs to validate any information if instincts dictate, even if the information is from so-called experts. It is his belief that if there is a problem in a business that requires more effort from the employees, it is best to get it out in the open. Unlike the more kind of popular way of hiding things so that employees do not leave, or suppliers finding other customers because they believe a certain company is in trouble. This is a very contentious point though. While it might spur more effort from employees, it might make some others to leave the company. Then again, can you keep this information within the cycle of just the members of staff? And when, if and when it does get out, how can you determine the reaction of suppliers and shareholders? The next rule, simplify everything. Jennings proposed a simple strategy for success at retail, which is to have the right product in the right place for the right price at the right time. The simpler it is to make the product, the simpler it is to get a location for production, a location for sales, and the ease and speed of distribution. All these things on their own and cumulatively is better for the producer and the consumer. Jeff Loberbaum of Mohawk Industries shares this principle and believes in trying to do all you can to make things easier for the consumers and make everything as simple as possible, which includes taking small decisive steps to achieve larger goals and putting in the work to overcome complexities and inefficiencies. The eighth rule, be accountable. Be accountable. United States Military Academy at West Point has a cadet honor code that reads simply, a cadet will not lie, cheat, steal, or tolerate those who do. Marshall Larson of Goodrich Corporation, a former cadet at West Point, is a strong advocate of accountability and believes one should have a personal sense of responsibility, building and trusting a team, setting examples and expecting the same of that team. The next rule, cultivate a fierce sense of urgency. There is nothing like a great first impression. First impression matters, a great first impression matters the most. And it's important to keep in mind time waits for no one. One loses the support of followers after a while if they do not see that set objectives are being met. In order to hit the ground running and to keep running, leaders must develop a fierce sense of urgency. Finally, the 10th rule, as outlined by Jennings, is be a fish out of water. This rule in its simplest form means that as a leader, you should strive to distinguish yourself in all you do. Distinguish yourself in all you do, in a positive way, of course. As a leader, one should be independently minded and not be carried away or influenced by greed or so-called pre-existing traditions. Finally, a recap of the 10 golden rules. Don't deceive yourself. You will reap what you sow. Gain belief. Ask for help. Vulnerability is not a weakness. Find, keep, and grow the right people. See through the fog. Drive a stake in the ground. Simplify everything. Be accountable. Cultivate a fierce sense of urgency. Be a fish out of water. Distinguish yourself. All in all, one must say this 246-page book makes for an interesting and easy read. It impacts a wealth of wisdom in the reader that far surpasses what one expects from the size of the book. It has great quality in terms of both content and delivery, and it is a must read for every student of management who aspires to leadership positions. People don't quit companies, they quit bosses. Thank you for listening.